I am so happy that you're here.
I'm happy to be here.
You're happy to be here. I was thinking of when actually you created Au Bonovo. That was 2009, right?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
So in 2000...
10 years ago.
2009, actually 2008, I discovered your work, your world. And I think the first work I seen was in Amsterdam. I think that was, oh yes, that was in Amsterdam. And I went to your house after a bus trip and we spent the night watching out your work. And that's when I truly, discovered your work and discovered the depth of your work, not the depth. The depth. But here you are today, and to participate and choreograph and co-direct Invisible City, a brand new work, a multi-dimensional meeting with dance, acting, visual art, projection. And first of all, thank you for doing this. But I wanted to understand what was the reason first when I approached you 10 years later. And say, hi Larbi, hear this project, what do you think about it?
Well, first of all, it was a real pleasure to just reconnect professionally because we've been following each other's journey into the art of being choreographers and being directors and having to, just navigate through 10 years of career. And so many things happened, so we kept in touch, but then having the opportunity to work with you again was my first, big, that was the biggest thing that first motivated me. Then, of course, the Rambert company, which there's a lot of dancers I actually know that I've either worked with before because they used to be in the National Youth Dance Company or people that I've been in contact with whenever I was in London, always thinking like one day would be nice to work with this dancer or that dancer, and they just happened to be in your company. So there was that connection. And then there was the meeting with Leo, which was really, I remember meeting him in Boston and going through the concepts and the ideas, and that really completely inspired me because the angle he's coming from and the kind of work he does is so different because he works with a very big scale, and usually I do big projects, but I'm always also quite I'm really about the body, so I end up always trying to get things that are, even when they're big, they're quite intimate. And this was quite a big world he was creating, and it was an imaginary world also, which really attracted me. And then so it was, and then the point of departure being Invisible Cities, and this this way of describing the world through imagery and metaphors in a way. There's so many ways to read the text, and I thought all of that was very attractive. So and I love working in London. So it was like even though it was a very hectic time at the time, I was like, I have to come and I have to do this, and it's going to be exciting. And then the Manchester Festival being this incredible place of meeting points and of crossing disciplines truly, because there's no definition of what you're actually going to see. So that also really attracted me because it's the kind of work I want to make, where people don't really mind whether there's theater text, whether it's an opera singer singing, or whether it's dancers moving, or whether it's video art. I just love the fact that people just come to have an experience and have an emotional interaction with this. And this can go many ways. You can be hypnotized by it, but you could also be questioned by it. Like it can make you think about your own choices in life, and I think it should trigger things.
To me, when I first got the treatment for Invisible City, and right away said this is for Larbi, it's as well as the sense of really how to embody or use the sense of words and understand this world as well. For Au Bonovo, to me it was very clear that you physicalize words and you do it in your way. And to me, I wasn't sure how this piece will end up, how it will be, how much heavy words, or if it's going to be more theater oriented. But I knew we were in good hands with with you, because you do have a sense of scale. You have a truly sense of moving space and shifting space. And when I saw the possibilities with this project, I said, Larbi has a handle. You have experience, and you've done different type of experiences, and your quality of movement to me is you can define it because you morph upon what you have in front of you. And I thought, what a nice experience to come back, to meet again, to work together. But to me, I was very curious as well, the path, the last 10 years, you've done so much, and small, big, different media, and I was really interested to see what you will do here.
Yeah, no, that's exciting. And I also think that the world that Jenny kind of created with the scenography, the way the audience is in 4 different places, it's something new for me too, so even though there's many kind of like things I've tried out in my life, I haven't really had the opportunity to have an audience being sitting in 4 different corners.
Immersive, you're right. I've seen different type, but not that.
No, I mean, the closest it comes to is the experience of having worked with Cirque du Soleil and having an audience all around, but that's still different than having 4 points of view, because here it's really southeast, northwest, like there's this kind of like, I don't know, like a cross that is being created, and everything, and Kubila is in the center of this, and at some point it's Marco Polo who's in the center of this, and that it's kind of like creating a compass. So this world really, for me, it brings a lot of my past experiences together, because it's like many things that have somehow resonated. I can find new ways of addressing these things, because it is about space. As you say, it's very vast and big, so there's some sort of scale involved in that, and then it's about time. The time of a text is very different than the time of a choreography or a dance. In 1 minute we can say something that sometimes takes 5 minutes to say in words, and sometimes it's enjoyable to have 5 minutes of contemplation. The older I get, the more I feel like dance is wonderful, because it allows us to contemplate something we're not really allowed to do in our daily lives. We're always supposed to react. There's a Twitter, you're supposed to react. There's some news or whatever, the red light, you are supposed to stop. The green light, you're supposed to walk. Everything is commands all day long. And I think dance, like sitting at the beach watching water, the sea, it's contemplation also. And so for some people that's boring, but for me it is the essence of dance at this point in my career. It's really about watching and enjoying that you're allowed to sit and watch, and you don't have to engage or react right away. You can just absorb, and then when you're seeing these incredible dancers of Rambert kind of like translate words into movement, I think it's really exciting.
I think it was last week, they were working on one of your sections. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but it brings your point. It's the one with these things, and I was just looking at it, and you gave me room to think. Suddenly, I was in the room, but not really. Suddenly, those shapes were bringing different images in my memories, and I think that's as well a strength, that you be so physical, but as well knowing that less is more.
Yeah, it's about finding, at times, and this sounds contradictory, but it's simplicity in complexity, and complexity in simplicity.
That section to me was, I didn't see, like, it was a new you. Like, to me, that, because they're just doing a certain thing very simple, but it was so, upon the angle as well that I was looking at it was becoming different, and it was strong, but a quiet strength. That's what it felt. He was moving with no efforts, but it was so strong visually as well.
I love when and it's actually also in the book. It's so present, so it actually makes it. You get permission through the words of the book to do this, but it's really about connections. This book, it's about the relationship between you and a space, the relationship between you and another person. The relationship of you and your former you. So it's all the time there's this kind of like invisible thread between you and others, and you and and even between Marco Polo and Kublai Khan, there is this this connection between the two of them, which is really fascinating, and it's like they get hooked onto each other, and then they never let go of one another. So it's this ongoing process of living life together with two different, very, very different perspectives. One of a conqueror, one of an explorer, and how they somehow, contradict one another, but also complement one another.